I'm Rena Bryson and this is Tiger, and you're very welcome to this month's Eva's Echo blog. This month, I thought it would be really fun to go over some of the jobs that actors have in between their time on stage or on set. Some of these jobs, as well as being really fun and keeping your acting muscles tight, can be a great way to earn some money in between acting gigs. Seeing as we're coming up to Christmas, we'll kick things off by being very festive. Discover your elf self, or your Santa self, your Mrs. Claus self. I've even been a snow princess, a post office elf, a greeter elf. There's really an elf for every single actor out there. This role is best for actors who love children, genuinely, very important, and actors who are very physical and expressive in their acting, especially for when you're dealing with really young audiences, such as like toddlers and babies come with families to Elf Town. They're really reacting to the really big physical acting that all of the elves and magical Christmas characters are doing. So this is one that's brilliant to apply to for, say, Elf Town here in Galway, shopping centres all over Ireland. There's lots of similar to Elf Town Santa experiences, I know, in Dublin and Cork, and just getting in contact with local theatre groups that may be doing different Christmas performances all over the country around Christmas time. Our next non-traditional acting job is stepping back in time. Loads of companies, especially during the summer months, look for historical actors. So these jobs are most suited to actors who have a genuine interest in history and have excellent improvisational skills. Because most of these roles, you will follow a script of some sort, but the real fun comes with interacting with the public. So one of my favourite jobs was working at Glenveigh Castle / Folk Park as a historical character. So usually I was the housekeeper or the nanny, but it did vary sometimes day to day. And I played the housekeeper when people would come through the dining room. So the tour guide would lead in a group of tourists and I would give them a monologue about my role in the house, about that particular room in the house. But then the fun part was I also got to wander the grounds and run into tourists and catch them completely off guard. So this was really, really brilliant for my improvisational skills and kept those muscles really, really tight. This was for a fabulous company called Dark Daughter Productions, where I actually ended up getting my first professional leading role. Another really fun one was I played Lily Yates at her own 100th birthday party. So that was an absolute blast. I got a job where I went to my own birthday party and I got to learn a lot about Lily Yates because there was a presentation about her beforehand, which really helped with my character development on the spot. Our third non-traditional acting gig that is really good for a little bit of extra cash and also for improving your stamina as an actor is faking sick. Every year, medical students have to complete examinations with actual people in front of them. So for the younger years, they'll usually use other students or people that they know, but as medical students go into their final years, they hire professional actors to make sure that the situation is as accurate as possible. This is to ensure that our future doctors also understand the emotional responses that are appropriate, how to comfort patients, and also how to diagnose patients when they might not be the most forthcoming with their own symptoms. So for example, I've played characters that have been suffering from a skin condition, but doctors had to figure out that it was actually caused by anxiety and stress. And one that I had that really, really tested my stamina as an actor was playing a patient who was being diagnosed with TB. And this was especially draining and really tested my stamina because the exams take place in 15-minute intervals. So every 15 minutes, I have to wipe my eyes, act completely normal. Oh, hello, doctor, how are you? Get told that I have TB, which is a very, very serious, fatal, oftentimes, illness. And I burst out crying. How are the doctors going to deal with this is basically what they're being tested on. And then wipe my eyes, start all over again. And I did that repeatedly every 15 minutes. You do get very good breaks and you're very well looked after. But as I said, it's a really good gig for testing your stamina. Our fourth non-traditional acting role is special birthday guest, not as Lily Yates this time, but as children's favourite characters. Usually something Disney or Marvel, and Frozen's always a winner. So to achieve this, you just really need to invest in one really good high quality costume, get all your character work done, and start advertising your services for children's birthday parties. This is best suited to actors who genuinely love kids, have a ton of patience, and singing is a definite bonus. This is a really great gig, especially for drama teachers who know lots of children's games that can be useful at birthday parties. And if you're to choose one character to begin with, I would definitely go with something Frozen. I teach 4 to 6 year olds every weekend, and Frozen is always a winner. Our fifth and final non-traditional role for actors is murder mystery fun. This again is a role that I haven't done, but my friend Elizabeth Flaherty has done loads and loads of these gigs. So I'm going to pass things over to her to tell you a little bit about it.
I've had lots of fun working on murder mystery parties. The company I've worked with the most is Murder on the Menu, and we host the deadliest parties. For this job, I get to play the role of the host, the organizer, and the most important role, the detective. Parties can vary from birthdays to corporate events to hen parties. Everyone has a role to play. So you could say I also play the role of a director by helping the guests to get and stay in character. There's a murderer, a victim, and lots more. It's a fun job for an actor because you get to practice your improvisation throughout the night. You learn to project well when speaking to large groups of people. And sometimes there are theme parties, which gives you the opportunity to work on various accents and get dressed up. The parties may not always go to plan, but it's always a killer night.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you guys so much for joining. You can find the full written blog on evasecho.com, and don't forget to check out our socials. So that's goodbye from Tiger and me.